Hello, my besties. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, then you have just made your way into the Disneyverse, and I'm so happy that you are here again. And for recurring guests, I'm more than ecstatic for you guys to click back on this video so we can have some fun together. Today, first of all, I'm going to clean my room, but during that, I am going to be telling you guys what are my absolute favorite and what are kind of my bottom of the list rides at Disney World. And I'm talking about all the parks: Magic Kingdom, EPCOT, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. And I decided to do this right now because it is currently March, almost April, and I feel like first of all, I've written every ride here, so I can confidently rate all the rides. And just to be clear, these are my opinions, and my opinions only, and if I offend anyone, I am sorry. So, park is Magic Kingdom, of course, because that was the first park ever built in Florida. And I am going to be talking about Fantasyland rides first. So, let's start with Peter Pan's Flight. Peter Pan's Flight here, it's weird because, as you guys know, I am a full-on Disneyland girly. I will say every ride at Disneyland is most superior than Disney World, because in my case, it kind of is. But this one, when I rode this Peter Pan's Flight for the first time, I liked it better because I felt like it was more cartoony, and it was more like 3D dimension, unlike the one in California, which is not cartoony, it's more lifelike. And I feel like since Peter Pan is a cartoon animation, it works better. I can say that the one in California did go under refurbishment to update it to make it more modern and add special effects, and this one does not. But like I said, I just feel like the show is better. So I'm gonna say that this one, the one in Florida, is the best in my opinion, and I would say I would have to give it a 6 out of 10, only because I can go without riding it a day that I'm in that park, only because that ride tends to round up the highest wait time in the whole Fantasyland. That is also the case in California. So yeah, one time there was a wait time of 90 minutes, and I was like, I'm sorry, I love this ride, but I can go without riding it that day. But again, I do not recommend you going to that park and not riding it. Sometime it's really good. It's a Small World. I love It's a Small World. Small World is very dear to my heart. I feel like this one, it kind of works. It's not really as spread out like most rides at Disney World, because again, Florida was blessed with space. But the main difference is the queue. So the one in California, I see to it that it's outside. The queue is outside, which I love. And the one in Florida, it's not outside. It feels more like a warehouse. but the decorations are basically the same as if in California. So I can't judge based on that because it's basically the same. The only difference is outside and inside, obviously. But it's more like the kinetic energy, you can feel it. I can say that I do miss the Disney characters that are in Disneyland that aren't in Disney World. But no, there's this one part, we're in Africa area, and there's a little boy that looks just like Mowgli. I don't know if it's Mowgli, comment down below if you think it's Mowgli. I don't know. But the kinetic energy, the finale, I would say, is amazing. And that's why I would have to put this small world. I would have to say it is a 4.5 out of 10 for me. The teacups. The teacups are amazing. They're basically the same thing as in Disneyland. Except in Disneyland, it's mostly outside. The one here is not outside, it's under a tarp. But fun fact, when Disneyland first opened in 1955, the teacup ride had a tarp over it too. They just didn't do that because of the expansion. So that's what I'm saying for teacups. Teacups is so much fun other than like the showing. It's more fun. I would have to say teacups are a 8 out of 10 for me. Only because I love teacups so much. I remember running it as a kid all the time. And we have the 100-acre wood. Many vendors of Honey Boo. It's not the same. I feel like the story is like you can follow it better. So, like for an example, I know this ride in Florida. It's a blizzard day, and then you have the Tigger, and then you have the Heffalumps and Woozle scene, and then you have the rain scene, and then you have the party scene, which if you've seen the movie that's based on this story, it makes more sense in the one in California, because in California, it's a rainy day, Tigger, Heffaloozles, and then it's a blizzardy day. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. This one, there's a lot of 2D characters in this ride than the one in California. I'll give you that. The one in California, it has more 3D characters. So I would have to give this one, because it does have a really fun owl scene where its house is like deserted everywhere because of the wind. And fun fact, if you check to like see if I'm the car and this is the entrance to Owl's house, if you look to my left, it's really hard. It's like on the far corner, far left. You'll see a picture of Toad giving Owl the deed. It's like a paper, if you don't know what a deed is. And that's because that's a little Easter egg, because that ride, that area used to house Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which I found out, I thought that was so cool. So for that ride, I would have to give it a solid 6 out of 10 for me. So yeah, that the Dumbo rides. The Dumbo rides are basically the same thing. They're copies of each other, but there is some like minor differences. Like the one in Florida, there are actually two. So there's a Dumbo ride here and a Dumbo ride there. And it's circus toy themed. As if in California there's only one, and it's not like, it's a circus theme, but it's not toy. I think the toy, in my opinion, works a lot better. So I like this version better. Sorry, I do. I would have to say I would give this one a 4 out of 10, only because I can go without it, but it's like there's not a long wait time, because sometimes there is. I'll go on it because I like it. I think it's called Aladdin Flying Carpet. They don't have this ride in California, and when I rode it for the first time, I loved it. I know it's like a joystick is right here, and you can go up and down, so it's basically like pretty much the same experience of the Dumbo ride, but it is so much fun. And so I would have to give that one I would have to say an 8 out of 10. I like that ride. When I first rode it, I fell in love.
It's not really a ride, but I'm gonna say it anyway if I can. The Country Bear musical Jamboree. I love the Country Bear musical Jamboree. I think it's amazing. I wish that it had the one in California, which if you didn't know, so as I said before, there's a many adventures of Winnie the Pooh at Disneyland, which used to occupy the space of Country Bear Jamboree. But in 2001, they removed it and replaced it with Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So I didn't get to experience it until I came here. So, and let me just say, I didn't do the very last one where it was like summer beach thing. Now it's like country musical jamboree thing. They updated the animatronics so well, and in my opinion, this version is a lot better. I feel like I watched the older version on YouTube, like someone filmed it and I watched it, which is great, but I like this version better. The animatronics, they like move a lot better, in my opinion. So I would have to give this one a 10 out of 10, only because every time I film in the Magic Kingdom, I always have to watch it at least once. I think I watched it, my record is like 5 times in a row because there was no line whatsoever. I feel like it's not as popular as like all the other rides, but it should be. The Haunted Mansion. So the thing about the Haunted Mansion is that when they made it in Disneyland, they knew that Florida was going to get a counter copy, so they just, Imagineers decided just to like make everything twice to ship everything there. But there is some minor differences. So this one, the one in Florida is longer than the one in California. And the one in California, the stretching room, spoiler alert, you go down in an elevator, you're actually underground. But the one in Florida, you go up, but you kind of go down a little. So, because down Florida was blessed with size. Florida, so you're in your dune buggy, you're sitting in your dune buggy, and you move throughout, and then there's some painting scene, there's the endless staircase, there's the piano scene, and there's the hallway scene, which
they did add the Hatbox Ghost, and I'm so happy that they did, because I loved watching the Hatbox Ghost. Every time I went to Disneyland, I loved him so much. And the one in California, the queue that you walk in for your Dune movie, you get to see the painting portraits, which in the one in Florida, you get to ride it. So this one, I feel like the one in Florida is most superior because you get more time to ride the ride, and yeah. So for this one, I would have to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Only because I love this ride. The railroad train. I know it's not an official ride, but you ride it like get to other parts of the land. So I'm gonna straight up and say that Disneyland is a lot better because Disneyland has more themes incorporated to, like, if there's a gap, for an example, if there's a gap, like with no rides and no lands or anything, Disneyland put something there to like entertain us. In Disney World, I feel like needs to put in more themes. So yeah, that. So I would have to say Disney World Railroad. I would have to put a 6 out of 10, only because that train has saved me a lot of walking, and it saved my feet from absolutely blowing out. Space Mountain, again, they have the same ride at Disneyland, but I'm gonna say, maybe because I'm biased, I don't know, but Disneyland is a lot better because I feel like the Space Mountain here, so you literally sit on the floor. I feel like you sit on the floor. It reminds me of the bobsled, the Matterhorn bobsleds at Disneyland. That's what it reminds me of. Some people will say that it adds to the space experience, and I'm gonna say it does, kind of. But so this one, it adds more like physical props than at Disneyland. They have like visual props, which works. I like it. The one at Disneyland does have a really good Space Mountain soundtrack that takes you through the whole ride, and the one here does not. They do. So the one at Disney World does have a Alpha and Omega. So Alpha and I feel like, in my opinion, Alpha is the less extreme and the Omega is the really extreme. I do the Omega, of course, because I like really extreme. But in my opinion, it's not really extreme. My opinion. But the ride, I feel like the track layout is not really the same. I feel like the one in Florida needs to shut it down for a little bit and reimagine it or something. But Space Mountain, I would have to give it a 4.5 out of 10. Only because it racks up a long line, and I don't like waiting in long lines. Especially for a ride I think needs upgrading, but my opinion. So yeah. People Mover. So the one at Disneyland, they used to have a People Mover, but they got rid of it. And if you guys look up at Disneyland, they still have the track all set up. Like the queue is still up there. And I feel like they need to either take it down and minimize that space, or they need to just bring People Mover back. Because it's such a huge hit at Disney World here. So I feel like they need to bring it back. And if you guys agree, comment down below.
But the People Mover, I love the People Mover. I know it doesn't really get you anywhere. It just takes you on a tour of Tomorrowland, which I love. Which, let me just pause this real quick and tell all of you, I work at food and beverage in Tomorrowland, so I hear the safety spiel of the People Mover in the queue all the time, but I'm not mad about it because I love the People Mover. So anyway, back to the explanation. The People Mover, I love the People Mover. I love the little scenes that they add to it. Plus there's this really fun like scene where you can see, so I guess you are supposed to be seeing the inside of Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters here, or I'm sorry, Space Ranger Spin. Astro Blasters is called at California. Space Ranger Spin is what they call it here in Florida. My apologies. So apparently they have a scene where you can look inside the ride, but as of now, it's still closed. But I mean, when I upload this video, it's gonna be open. And let me just say, I'm gonna be one of the first people to ride it because I never rode it when it was like, I guess, the older version, but the newer version, I will always say that the one at Disneyland is gonna be more superior because I grew up with that one, but I feel like this one's gonna be more superior now, obviously, because there's gonna be that new scene, and pretty much the ride is gonna be identical now because the cars, they're gonna have like the blasters that you can take on and off of the rack thing, so it's easier to shoot, and the cars are gonna be able to spin, which got me thinking, why would they name this one Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin if the cars didn't spin? But now they do, so now it works. So I'm not going to talk about that though. If you guys want me to review that ride, I will. I probably will, even though no one asked for it. So anyway, so that's a fun little scene. It shows that. So the People Mover, I like it. The first time I rode it, I wasn't expecting anything grand, but I really like the showrooms. So I would have to give this one a 7 out of 10. For me, TRON Lightcycle run. Guys, when I say I loved TRON, I remember riding it for the first time. So when I first arrived here in January, they gave us like a 3-day pass to like explore the parks and explore where you're working, I guess. So me and my family did. They didn't go on it, but I went on TRON Lightcycle run for the first time, and I fell in love with it. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. The only complaint I would say is that I wish it was a lot longer. I think that like the show scene where you're like competing against Team Red, when you're competing against Team Red and Team Yellow and stuff, I think that should be longer, like more like visual settings. I feel like other than that, it was really fun. I loved it. I feel like Imagineers did an amazing job on it. So TRON, I would have to give it a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I like it. The Astral Orbiter, which is literally on top of one of the restaurant like thing areas that I work at. So I'm literally like on the bottom of it. So I like this one. They have the same one in California, but I feel like this one works better because it's literally on a platform. So when you're on the ride, you spin, but you can literally see pretty much everywhere in the United Kingdom. Where in California, you can't really see anything. But so fun fact. They wanted the astro orbiter in California to be elevated, but it was just too heavy. So without like more complications, because at the time Tomorrowland that was being reimagined was already over budget. So they didn't have the money to make a steadier beam. So that's why the one in California is not up and the one in Florida is. I like this one a lot. So I would have to give this one a 8 out of 10. Carousel of Progress, baby. I love the Carousel of Progress. The Carousel, sorry, I'm supposed to be cleaning our room. I'm gonna go out of my way. So the Carousel of Progress used to be at Disneyland. If you walk like straight into Tomorrowland, California, you can actually see the abandoned like merry-go-round building thing that it used to be in. So little fun fact for you guys. But the Carousel of Progress, I know it breaks down a lot, and there's a lot of funny malfunctions that you can see throughout the ride. But I seem to not be able to go to my kingdom and not ride Carousel of Progress. So that's why that one's getting a 10 out of 10. And since they are about to close it for an extensive refurbishment, and they're actually adding a Walt Disney animatronic that is already in Disneyland. It's coming to Disney World, and I'm just so excited to see what the new enhancements are gonna look like. So yeah. Moving to Frontierland. The Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. It's the same ride. There's no comparison or contrasting between California and Florida. But I know that the one in Florida, I think they used to have a thing called Enchanted Tiki Room under new management, where they had Zazu from The Lion King and Iago from Aladdin, because at the time those were the two famous rides, or not rides, movies, sorry. Yeah. But because of a fire that happened, they had to close it and repurpose it into the tiki room again, which I kind of wanted to see the under new management, but again, I watched it on YouTube, and it was funny, but it's like a watch it one time, and then I wanted to go back to the original one, which is the same vibe, so I can't really compare it. I thought it wouldn't be fair, but I would have to give this one a 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. Only because I grew up with the tiki room, and especially on a hot day, or in Florida, a hot day and then it starts pouring, you can get a Dole Whip, or what I like now to get is a pineapple upside down cake, which is a pineapple upside down cake. It's like a little cake, it's like this big, a little bigger maybe, and then it has Dole Whip on the top. So it's like a good combination of wet and dry. So, and I can pick that into the tiki room, like you can in Florida. California, like you can do in California. the Caribbean, or Pirates of the Caribbean, but I call it Caribbean. So, they have this ride in California, but the thing is, when it opened, when Magic Kingdom opened in 1971, guests were outraged, I guess, because there wasn't a Pirates of the Caribbean in Disney World, but there was in California. So they had to rush it. So that is why, in my opinion, it's not as superior as the one in California. In my opinion, you can't smell the pirate water here in Florida. You can really smell it in California. Tell me I'm not crazy, because I feel like I'm not. So for that ride specifically, I would have to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Sorry, I really like Pirates of the Caribbean, but I like it better in California. Sorry. Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is a lot more superior in Florida than it is in California, because they have a fun, like, Bengal inside a cavern scene. So I think I love it so much. The skippers, can't really complain about the skippers because the skippers are amazing. I remember when I applied, I so wanted to be a skipper, but I guess there were too many skippers, so yeah. So fun fact, I wanted to be a skipper. Hopefully I can be a skipper in the future. This is my audition. Thank you so much. So for this Jungle Cruise, other than the Bengal in the cave scene, it's mostly the same. It's the same rating for me in California for here. So I would have to give this a 7.5 out of 10 for this one. And then Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they have the same ride at Disneyland, but I feel like the one at Disneyland, it was made for the one in Disneyland better, only because the pacing is a lot better, I feel like, than in Florida. It has good pacing, but this is your log, which, by the way, in California, you can sit like one log, so it's like literally a log, which the one in Florida, you can seat 2 people in a log, but because I'm one person, I usually sit by myself. What I was saying is that the log's right here, and you're moving. I feel like it's a little too slow. So you're moving, scene, and then there's like 5 seconds of literally nothing. The scenery, the music, I love it. But I feel like the one in Florida, the animatronics tend to break down easier than the one in California. Maybe it's because it's like more humid and there's a lot more people that come to ride it. I don't know. But the finale, the finale is the same. It's the same in California, it's the same in Florida, there's no complaint. The only thing different that I noticed is that when I'm riding the train in Florida, there is no window that you can go past it. In the one in California, you can pass it. There's like a little window that you can see through it. So I thought that was a cool little detail I liked. But I don't know about you guys, but I kind of miss Splash Mountain because I think it worked better. The theming, like the log, and I think it worked better. but I like the Tiana's by Adventure, especially the soundtrack. I listen to that soundtrack on Spotify all the dang time. So, for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I would give it a 10 out of 10, only because I like it. I love Princess and the Frog. I love Tiana. But what do you guys think? I would actually like to know, what are your thoughts on Tiana's Bayou Adventure? Should they have kept the Splash Mountain theme? I think they should have, but I think some guests are too sensitive. Okay, I did take a pause for a second because, let's be honest, I wasn't gonna make my bed while talking to you guys. So, I made my bed. Remember that the ride I haven't talked about yet is Autotopia, which is called Speedway. Speedway is in Florida, Autotopia is in California. So, the one, like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you can't really compare and contrast, but because they're basically the same. The only difference is that the one in California is more like a off-road like kind of theme, and the one in California is like an Indy 800 Speedway theme, which does work in my opinion. There's a lot more road, I feel like. I feel like the cars are a lot more like controllable in Florida than the one in California. I don't know when they're gonna do it, but I cannot wait when they start replacing the cars. I know they're doing it in Florida. I don't know if they're doing it in California, but they're changing the cars from gas to electric. That's gonna be super cool because Tomorrowland is based on like the futuristic of the world. So it would make more sense because in today's age, they're doing electric cars more. So for this one, I would have to say, I would have to give, like, 7.5 out of 10. Mickey's Filler Magic. So they have this, like, attraction kind of show at Disneyland. They have it both at the same spots, Fantasyland at Disneyland and at Disney World. So the Filler Magic is the same ride. Same attraction, same everything, same queue. It's just really funny. A 7.5 for me. I feel like they did really good with the stuff. I like how they added the Coco segment because I really like Coco. Hopefully everyone does too, because they're adding a Coco ride at Disneyland. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. For me, I rode it for the first time. I fell in love with it. It made me miss Snow White's Enchanted Wish. That's in California. But I feel like it holds so much memory because I know, because they used to have a Snow White's Scary Adventure here in Florida, but I guess they took it down. I don't know where it went. Obviously it's gone because I can't find it. But this ride, I know at the very end of the ride, there's the party scene, where Sneezy and Dopey dress as a tall man and dance with Snow White. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So anyway, there is a house full of like animatronics, and apparently those animatronics was from that ride. So I thought that's a really cool Easter egg. They kept like Disney archives literally in there. And the music is basically from the 1930
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs movie. The I always have to work to go. I like the ride. I'm just gonna say I like the ride. I think it's really funny. The animatronics I love. Dopey is my favorite, if I haven't told any of you yet. So I would have to give this one a 8.5 out of 10. So we finished Magic Kingdom rides. We are now hopping to EPCOT, because EPCOT. We are gonna start with World of Showcase, which has 3 rides, which is the Grand Fiesta ride, which I don't know about you guys, but I can't go a day going in Epcot and not riding that ride. I love that ride so much, and I love how it's like a hidden gem officially now, so it's like not everyone goes in that area to like ride it anymore, which is sad, but I always ride it. I love it. It's so much fun. I love the 3 Caballeros. I remember watching that all the time as a kid. Donald, Panchito, and Jose. I love them so much. And the animatronics, I feel like they knocked it out of the park with the animatronics. And then, let's see. The way I would rate it, I would rate the Crown Tour 10 out of 10. I love it so much. And then now let's go to Norway. Let's go to Frozen Ever After. Recently Frozen Ever After did a minor refurbishment. They just replaced all the the physical bodies, and then the animatronic faces, 3D faces. So they replaced those and put new, like, articulated faces and bodies, which is freaking amazing. I remember riding it for the first time with the 3D faces, and it was creepy. Sorry, it was creepy. But then I saw it, I rode it again with the new faces, new bodies, and it just worked completely a lot better. So for that one, I would have to give it a 9 out of 10 for the newer version. And then I would have to give it a 6 out of 10 for the older version. I feel like they did a really good job with like the animatronic faces and stuff like that. And then now let's go to my favorite pavilion, France. Let's go to France. Oui, Beckett. Sorry. The Ratatouille ride. The Ratatouille ride, the first time I rode it, they already switched to 2D. Apparently there was 3D, like with the 3D glasses and everything. I feel like that would have been cool, but I like the 2D better, only because I don't have a problem with 3D glasses, but I'm just glad that they had the 2D available when I was there, so I rode it for the first time. I loved it. The little details that you know, like there's this one scene where you're walking, or you're a rat, so walking, and there's 2 wheels like on the side of you, and they are rolling, which I think is so cool. So yeah, that you have the water squirting you when you're trying to get away. You have the food. sniffing. Oh my god, it's just amazing. So I would have to say I would have to give this ride a 10 out of 10, only because I have to ride it all the time. Only because I love the ride, but also mostly every time I walk by it, it's like shut down. It's like a very complicated ride, I guess, and I guess it takes like an hour for it to reboot itself. I don't know, but I like that ride. And then the next ride that I'm going to be talking about is Mission Space, which is like a simulator. Which is like a simulator ride where it's like, it feels like you're in a video game, but without the headset. I just feel like it's great. There are 3 levels, and I think the hardest level is Mars. It's like more intense, I guess. I rode that because I love intense. If you have claustrophobia, I do not recommend that ride at all. So you're like standing, and it feels like, you know, when you're at the fair and the, like, I don't know what the ride's called, but it like spins you really fast, and it's like magnet at the, so it's like you have to stand. So it's kind of like that. I like it. It's like a one thing. It's like when all the rides are not that long, or they are long, and the only ride that isn't long is Mission Space. I feel like a lot of people miss it, which is sad because I like it a lot, but I wouldn't ride it all the time that I'm in there. I think the last time I rode it, sadly, it was 2 weeks ago. But no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So, Mission Space, all 3 levels, I would have to give it a 5 out of 10. So, yeah. Test track. I love Test Track. I love that there's a single rider line in Test Track. I didn't get the privilege to ride Test Track when it was like the original Test Track, which obviously checks out because I lived in California. But other than that, I think they did a really good job. Again, I watched it on YouTube, the older version. I like this version better. It's my opinion. I just liked it so much. So how I would rate it? I would have to rate this a 9.5 out of 10. Because I like it, I love it, but I want to say my number 1 spot. I think this is my first favorite ride at EPCOT. I think it's pretty much everyone's favorite ride, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I love Cosmic Rewind. I have a little story to tell you guys on Cosmic Rewind. So, I was on Cosmic Rewind. I was manifesting that I get the song in September, because I've gotten every freaking song at least twice, but I haven't gotten September. But this time I got September, but the ride broke down when I was on it. Sorry. See, I'm so shocked. So I rode it. It broke down. We rode it, but we rode it in the dark with no audio, no like special effects. It was still cool. It was still the ride, which the ride's cool in itself, but I was so mad that mid-ride, the song just cut out. And it was the one song. So now I can say that I've gotten all songs and a half. But I think the story's cool. I feel like they could have done better. Like I feel like they could have done better with the show part, like actual like showing. Like they could have put in some animatronic maybe for the pre-show or something. Because I feel like without the audio and without the video, it's like, for an example, if Disney World did a power outage and the videos weren't working at all, I mean, like the whole ride would be shut down because people wouldn't understand what it is unless they wrote it a lot of times, which I did, but for the people that are just visiting Disney World that day, they wouldn't know what's going on. But other than that, I think the Imagineers did amazing. I feel like the wait was well worth it. So for me, I would have to say 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. If I could do 1,000 out of 10, I would, but I can't. So 10 out of 10. Now let's kind of go counterclockwise, because now we're talking about living with the land. Living with the land, a lot of you, I know, because I hear it all the time, living with the land is a really fun ride to like relax, which it is, but you solely have to go on it with the purpose of looking at everything, because everything is so breathtaking. I know that this ride is kind of old and stuff, but you cannot go to EPCOT and not visit Living with the Land, which I love it so much. And there's a lot of scenery, there's a lot of greenery. I remember riding it the first time, and I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm gonna become a gardener after listening to all this stuff, because this is cool stuff. So I would have to say 7.5 out of 10 for me. And then there's this soaring around the world. Now it's called Soaring Around the World. They are doing a soaring across America, which I'm ecstatic for, because hopefully I know like what places we're gonna visit, but we never know. So Soaring Around the World, they have the same ride. No, hold on. No, they changed it to Soaring Around California. In California, Disneyland. But they have it Soaring Around the World here. I feel like that. So when I first wrote it, I thought it was going to be the exact same copy of in California. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Only because we have a queue in Florida. It's inside. It's a lot longer, I feel like, in California. But there's a literal game. You can go on your phone and you can like play games with other people in line. So I feel like that's so cool of people to do. So for the soaring, and other than that, it's the same thing. Patrick Warburton introduces all of us. So, I would have to say, I would have to give this one a 8.5 out of 10 for me. Finding Nemo. It's not the same Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage at Disneyland. It's more of a different one where it's like you like help find Nemo and everyone helps find Nemo. It's so, I think it's really fun, especially for little kids. I know I can't wait to bring my nieces and nephews to it and ride the ride because I know they're gonna love it. I love it. And then at the end of the ride, it's like Finding Nemo, or I'm sorry, Finding Dory, where you're in the open ocean exhibit. So I thought it's like a literal aquarium, which I love. I say witch all the time. Maybe I'm a witch. Anyway, for me, I would have to give that a 5.5 out of 10 for me. Journey into imagination with Figment. Guys, when I say I love Figment, I love Figment so much. This is when Disney Bound as Figment. And if you don't know what Disney Bound is, look it up. But I can't go a day in EPCOT without riding that ride. So obviously it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I love Figment so much. I remember, so my friend who's a regular Disney World park goer, she's from California, but she's been to Disney World more than me, or at least I think she's still been to Disney World more than me at this time, even though I live here now. She kept mentioning Figment to me, and I'm like, who's Figment? And she gave me a whole freaking spiel about who Figment is. Literally, like, whole freaking spiel. I fell in love with Figment because she told me to. And basically, I rode it for the first time. I loved it. And then in the end, there's this thing called Imagination Works, which is basically like a little playground. It's very interactive, and I actually met Figment himself, which I'm a celebrity now. No photos, please. So 10 out of 10 for me. And then we kind of made our way backwards. The last ride that I'm going to be talking to you about is basically at the entrance. It's where the EPCOT ball, the golf ball, but it's not a golf ball. I know, it's not a golf ball, guys. But right by it, it's literally the ride. It's Spaceship Earth. I love Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth is so funny. I remember when my sister went on it, my older sister, oh my gosh, she took my cousin. They were in the same car. You get in this car, and then the screen pops up where it like narrates like what's happening throughout the ride, and you ask what language you pick. My cousin was 2 at the time, and she put Chinese, and my sister knows nothing about Chinese. So the whole ride was my sister listening to Chinese. I think it was funny when she told me. So this ride is really fun. You have to thank the Phoenicians. You have to thank them every time you're on this ride. So you're on this ride, and it basically takes you through like the EPCOT ball. Like you go up the EPCOT ball and you like turn. It's really cool. I actually saw the track layout, and I think it's really cool. So that happened, and then in the end, you go through this fun, like interactive, what do you want your future to be, and I think it's so funny. So for me, Spaceship Earth, I would have to say it's a 9.5 for me. So yeah. Animal Kingdom. I'm gonna start off with Zootopia Better Together. This is not an official traditional attraction, but Animal Kingdom doesn't really have that really a lot of attractions. Better Together replaced Is Tough to Be a Bug, which sadly I love Tough to Be a Bug. It was over at California. Remember when they had Bugs Land, but then they replaced it with Avengers Campus, so that happened. Better Together, it pretty much has the same special effects that was happening in It's Tough to Be a Bug. You know that big hopper animatronic that they had? He got replaced, obviously, with a animatronic Clawhauser, which is a lot lifelike, and I love Clawhauser a lot. So yeah. The Better Together, I hate how it's not like as loved as It's Tough to Be a Bug, because obviously Tough to Be a Bug was more superior, I feel like. But Zootopia is such a beloved, funny movie. I love it so much, and I feel like a lot of you out there can agree with me too. So Better Together is basically talking about like Together Day, and there's this Heidi Howler, which is, spoiler, it's Dawn Bellwether, which if you didn't know, that's her first name, Dawn. I learned that too. So anyway, that she was behind all this. She didn't want like Together to live in harmony, I guess. So I'm not gonna spoil it because I recommend you watch it. So Zootopia Better Together, I would have to say a 10 out of 10 for me, because I love it a lot, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna love it, because yeah. Let's go to the Avatar. Rivers of Na'vi, which I love so much. You're gonna hear the word love a lot because I love it. At first, I didn't like it. To be honest, I didn't like it. I felt like it was really boring, but now that I say it out loud, I like it now. Especially, oh my gosh, the animatronic of, oh my, I'm not gonna spoil it who it is, but I love it so much. The animatronic's so lifelike, and so I would have to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. And then there is a Avatar Flight of Passage, which is like the most popular ride in Animal Kingdom, and it is an amazing ride. Guys, it's an amazing, I remember, so here's me, and you get on the queue, so the queue, and you step on this like magnetic thing, I guess, and it like syncs you with an avatar. And I got a man avatar. I was offended, but my father got a woman avatar. So I don't know. So anyway, you get on this. It's kind of like TRON Lightcycle Run. So it's kind of like TRON Lightcycle Run in California, where like where you like sit on like a cycle. In this case, a banshee. And it's a simulator game, but you don't need like you don't need glasses. It's like, so the way I think of it, it's like if TRON Lightcycle Run and is soaring over the world, like had a kid together. Oh, I really like it. It's very long,
but it's not short either, which I love. Excuse me. I would have to give this a solid 8 out of 10 for me. Then we are going to the only roller coaster that is in Animal Kingdom, Expedition Everest. I love Expedition Everest. Right off the bat, 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10 for me. Oh man, there is no complaints that I can give. Only if you go to Animal Kingdom, I watch it, like write it for me, please. And then there's it's a very long word. It's a Kilimanjaro. I'm gonna butcher it. Kilimanjaro. Oh my god, Kilimanjaro Safari, which is basically like I say it like the ground, like the dry lands of Jungle Cruise, because the tour guides, the skippers, they're funny too. There's live animals, but quick tip, if you're gonna go, because Animal Kingdom opens at 8 a.m. and closes sometimes at 6 or 7 p.m. I recommend don't go in the morning because the animals are just waking up. And I would go in not the middle of the day kinda, I would like go between like 9:30 and 10:30 maybe. All in all, it just depends on what animals you see. But anyways, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how long it's gonna be. It's unpredictable, it's funny, and that's why I'm giving this one a 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. The next one, I don't know how to say this one, but it's a water ride. It's the River Rapids ride or something. At first I thought it was gonna be long because the queue was very long. But when I rode it, I felt like I was on it for like 5 minutes and that was it. It was such a short ride. I'm sorry. I'm assuming, sorry. It's not a long ride. I thought I was gonna go on like River Rapids, the one like in California Adventure. That one's longer than this one, in my opinion. I feel like they need to make it longer because I feel like the queue was very excessively long for no reason because the ride was really short. But it was just, I did not enjoy that. So I think I would have to give that a 2.5 out of 10. Sorry, 2.5 out of 10. The next park and the last park that I will be discussing with all of you is Hollywood Studios. And I'm gonna start off with a banger. Preferably a banger for me because I like Tower of Terror. 10 out of 10 for me. No complaints. I can go on and on and on about this whole ride. They used to have this ride at California, but they changed it to be Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is still a fun ride. I feel like there's a lot more drop sequence that they added to that ride, but the theming of the Twilight Zone, it just fits better for me. So it's October 1939, and it's the Twilight Zone. So there is I don't know if this is the official canon, but there is a nanny, there's a child star, there's a bellhop, like person that takes your bag. There is an actor, and then there's a singer. And I don't know if they're related or not, or got in the same hotel, got in the same elevator, I don't know.
So they get in the hotel, then lightning strikes the hotel like wall, and it plummets down, and it sucks the 5 people into a nightmare, which is a Twilight Zone. And the one thing different about this ride, the one in Florida, is that it actually takes you through the ride sequence. It's like the 5th dimension, which is so cool. And then there's like a bunch of different sequences, so you don't know which one you're gonna get. You don't know if you're gonna go up first or down first. You don't know if you're gonna meet like the ghosts of the people. It's a really fun ride. I love it so much. So a 10 out of 10. Again, if I could give it a million out of 10, sorry, I would, but I can't because I'm following the rules. So 10 out of 10 for me. Villains happily never after. So I was told this replaced Lightning McQueen's Training Racing Academy, which again I saw on YouTube. It was fun. It was fun especially if you love cars, which I love cars. I liked it, but this one's really fun. And it's basically, it comes up with like, it's Hook, Cruella, and Maleficent, and they're fighting to win over our hearts to see which one is the most misunderstood, which I think is really funny, really fun. And then in the end, the audience gets to choose based on audience loudness. Spoiler alert, every time I go in, Maleficent always wins. Cruella has won once, but I really want my guide Hook to win. I really want Hook to win, only because I have never seen him win. But that, for me, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10, because I like it in my opinion. Minnie and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So Minnie and Minnie's Runaway Railway is fun. They have it at Disneyland. They have it in their Toontown, which California has and Florida doesn't. I feel like the queue is so much different in California. In California, it's more like a cartoony movie theater, but the one in Florida, it's actually a movie theater, and you get sucked into the cartoon. So it's a lot different. You can't really compare and contrast them. But I'm just gonna say the one in California, I feel like is much better because the theming, the Toontown is much better. I like it a lot. Other than that, the ride is a lot. It's the same. So the one in California is my favorite, obviously. I think you guys know that. But the Runaway Railway, 10 out of 10 for me. I love it so much. It's fun. I think my favorite scene is the, I think it's the carnival scene. It's so much fun. So yeah, the carnival scene's that. Runaway Railway, 10 out of 10. Indiana Jones, the epic adventure, which is basically like a stunt show. It feels like you're actually on the set, and as a fellow thespian theater kid, I love it so much. I'm gonna have to give it a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Let's see. Oh, Frozen Ever After. That's EPCOT. Sorry. Frozen Sing Along, which is so there's two there's two people. Oh my god, they're so funny. And you get to sing along all your favorite songs. Sing along to, oh my gosh.
guys, I'm bad for doing this, but sing along to summer. And you know how the song goes, winter the good things sing and cuddle, but put me in summer, I'll be a happy snowman, but you're supposed to say puddle. So I said puddle. And I actually recorded it. And if you want to see that recording, it's on my TikTok. It's just called Beyond the Disneyverse. Give that a follow because I also post stuff on there. So anyway, I saw that, and the two hosts know what to do. They're so funny about it. So yeah, they're so funny about that. I would have to say I would give that a 9.5 out of 10, only because you see Kristoff, you see Anna, you see Elsa. So it's kind of like a meet and greet and a show all together. And then you have Star Tours, which has been my favorite since the beginning of time, or since I've been to Disneyland. But Star Tours is fun. It's the exact counter copy of the one in Disneyland. I like how they both have Rex on display, and if you don't know who Rex is, Rex was the host that got replaced by C-3PO. So yeah, that happened. I can decide which one I like better because, again, they're copies. But Star Tours, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. Only because I feel like it's a hidden gem. Not everyone knows about it. Not everyone likes it, which is sad. Speaking of Star Wars, let's go to Galaxy's Edge now. And let's do Rise of the Resistance. Again, Rise and Smugglers is like a counter copy of the one in California. The same thing. So, I'm gonna say it's a 10 out of 10 for me for Rise. And then for Smugglers Run, I would have to say a 6 out of 10, only because I get engineer every freaking time, because I'm just one person and they have a single rider line. But you always get stuck with the engineer job. No one wants the engineer job. I'm sorry. Unless you're like in the future and they change it to like the engineer can decide where to go, and yeah. So I'm gonna be ready for that. The Hondo Onaka animatronic, I fell in love. I would have to give it I think I gave it a 6 out of 10 before. No, the Smuggler's Run, I would have to reconsider and say it's a 8 out of 10 for me. So that's the Star Wars stuff. And then let's go to Toy Story Land. They have Toy Story Mania, which is basically the same ride, but it's not the same ride at the same time, if that makes sense, only because the queue, I feel like they knocked it out of the park with the queue, only because the queue feels like you're actually in a box and you cut out to make it look like a queue. And they have Mr. Potato Head, of course, so they have that. And then the ride's basically the same. If you want to do that ride without paying the ticket price, you actually can go and find Toy Story Mania on the Wii. I played that all the time because I can never get past being a stupid badger.
in when they like count up all your scores. But that's just me. And so you have that. You have green alien flying saucers, which is like Major's Junkyard in Carland at California. And if you know what that is, but if you don't, I'm gonna explain it. So you're in a car, here's like the green alien, and it like whips you around really fast, which, pro tip, the heavier your car is, the more like traction you'll get and the more spin you'll get. So that happened. I would have to give that a 5.5 out of 10, only because I like it, but it's like a one-time thing for me, especially it gets like super long. It's like little kids. And then the most, oh my gosh, I think I waited 70 minutes for this ride, and if you know me, I don't like waiting in lines at all. It's called Slinky Dog Dash. Slinky Dog Dash, 9.5 out of 10 for me. I love Slinky Dog Dash so much. That's all I can say. I think my favorite part is at the end where you can see like the Wheezy animatronic. And if you can see, there's a lot of Easter eggs that you also can see, like with shorts and stuff. Like on the very top of Wheezy singing, there's like this book, and it's called Partly Cloudy, and if you know what that is one of Pixar's shorts that they made a while ago in the 2000s, which is really funny. I recommend you watch pretty much every Pixar short there is. Now, that was all of my ratings for each 4 parks, all the rides, and in the end, my favorite park is Hollywood Studios. That's a little fun fact for all of you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my spiel. And if you're here to the end, thank you. What's your favorite ride, and what are your ratings on like your favorite ride, your least favorite ride, and the ride like you can go on once and you're satisfied? I would love to know. Leave a comment down below, and hopefully we start a conversation, but remember, please be nice to others. So anyway, oh, and also, what are your thoughts about my opinions? I actually am quite curious what you guys think. So anyway, I will see you guys later, and remember, be nice, and you guys rock. Thank you. So, bye.